Welcome back to this special edition of the Nevis Newscast as we wrap up our year in review. On September 4th, Taiwanese Ambassador to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Tom Chi-Chiang Lee, and a delegation met with Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, and other members of the Nevis Island Administration to hold discussions on the proposed development of the Pinnis Park.
We approached, and I think Foreign Minister was quite pleased. It was also important for us, and I mentioned to him that we created some symbol of our long-lasting relationship and friendship.
The Ministry of Culture hosted a first of its kind press conference at the Cultural Village on September 6th when the Honorable Eric Evelyn gave a preliminary financial statement for Culturama 44.
We will begin with the receipts derived from ticket sales and the gate receipts, which total this year $210,079, and it is an increase of 18% over the previous year. A total of $256,000 was paid out in prize money.
Following a National Heroes Day concert in memory of Steel Pulse drummer Steve Grizzly Nisbet, who passed away in January on September 17th, the NIA also held an unveiling ceremony in Brick Hill in his memory.
Steve Grizzly Nisbet, we are told, would have walked around barefoot way back when, because he would have gone to England, as we know, at a time when people were running from poverty here to try and find a better way elsewhere. And the fact that he could have gone and through his God-given talents and skills emerged as one of the top musicians in the world, I think that says a lot to our young people, that we can be absolutely anything we want to be.
In his address at the Independence 35 ceremonial parade, his first as Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley noted that the island of Nevis, as a constituent element of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, holds considerable promise.
We who are entrusted to help shape the next 35 years must insist that our countrymen do the right thing. We must strive each and every day to achieve the oneness of purpose. That is the only effective engine to drive our island and our nation forward.
September 20th saw the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation hosting the grand opening of Phase 1 of the Cedar View Housing Development at Madden's Estate.
We have bigger and better houses. We have much more attractive designs. I believe if persons are going to live in a house for many years to come, they must be comfortable and they must love their environment that they find themselves in.
From October 1st to 5th, a number of building contractors and architects benefited from a seminar funded by the Caribbean Development Bank and the Nevis Island Administration, which was aimed at improving practices for the construction of houses on Nevis.
I am also expecting that this training will bring huge savings to property owners, businesses, and the country at large in time to come, thereby reducing the adverse social and economic impacts on our island after a hurricane.
As Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley made the opening statements at his October 2nd press conference, he announced the appointment of a new Principal Education Officer.
Ms. Nella Claxton, as we know, has a wide experience in education. She holds a master's degree in adult education from Texas A&M in Texarkana, Texas, and she's been deeply involved in education in the United States.
Meantime, in an unprecedented move, Premier Brantley also announced that the Nevis Island Administration has provided member of the opposition, the Honorable Joseph Parry, with an office.
From time to time, people come into the country, they want to visit the opposition, they want to have a conversation, and there has never before in our history been a space for the opposition to function. Never before. So I am hopeful that our people would appreciate that this is a right step in the right direction.
The Social Policy and Sustainable Human Development Unit hosted a two-day Sustainable Development Workshop at the Red Cross headquarters in Charlestown from October 2nd to 3rd. This was the second such workshop by the unit, targeting line ministries and departments in the NIA.
Enough persons on the island are not fully aware of what sustainable development means and are not aware of the sustainable development goals. So we are hoping that from this workshop, the word could go out in the private sector as well. The word can get out to the schools and the word can get out to the general public.
The Nevis Island Administration accepted the keys to water wells in Nevis from Bedrock Exploration and Development Bead Technologies during a brief handing over ceremony at Madden's Estate on October 5th.
The ownership of bead wells will now bring some savings to the NIA, or at least I hope so. The average monthly payment to bead ranged from $35,000 to $55,000 US per month.
October 17th saw the orientation of the Nevis Island Administration's cabinet as to the provisions of the Integrity in Public Life Ordinance in keeping with the operationalizing of the legislation which was passed in the Nevis Island Assembly more than 5 years ago.
All who are caught by this legislation are expected to abide by it, and therefore the training has been provided for everyone.
This came on the heels of a similar presentation on October 11th to senior civil servants and others who would be impacted by the provisions of the legislation. The Department of Agriculture's Abattoir Division commissioned its new processing plant on October 17th and is hopeful it will increase the sale and consumption of value-added meats processed there.
This particular expansion is one that is or will play a major part in the development of the livestock industry here in Nevis. It will also play a major part in ensuring that the meat products that we are able to process here at this abattoir would be of the highest quality.
The Public Works Department in the Nevis Island Administration began making way for the first phase of the Bath Village Road Rehabilitation Project on October 22nd. According to Minister of Public Works, the Honorable Spencer Brand, the first phase of the 1,650 feet project will cost the NIA $450,000. The second phase is expected to commence in 2019. A 13-member investment delegation from the Republic of China Taiwan visited Nevis on October 30th and spent the day meeting with senior officials in the Nevis Island Administration. In the capacity of acting premier, the Honorable Spencer Brand received the delegation, who also met with senior officials in the Ministry of Finance, permanent secretaries and department heads, as well as stakeholders in tourism and small business. The delegation was also invited to view a display of local products made by agro-processors on the island following their receiving training in essential oils and canning workshops coordinated by the Small Enterprise Development Unit. The delegation also visited the Department of Agriculture's agro-processing unit, the Hermitage Plantation Inn, Bath Stream, and the Case Bay Farms. On October 31st, the Minister of Public Works, the Honorable Spencer Brand, visited the site of the Brown Hill Road Rehabilitation Project to see the progress of the project. The road rehabilitation work began in June, and the first phase was completed in September.
I am satisfied with the progress that I'm seeing, and I'm also satisfied with the quality of work that I am seeing. It is no secret that I have every confidence in our public works team and staff to execute these kind of projects and to do it at a very high quality.
Beginning on October 31st, the Nevis Disaster Management Department hosted a week-long community resilience training in psychological first aid.
One of the fallouts from Hurricane Irma, Maria, and Jose last year is a series of heart attacks, persons suffering from stress-related symptoms, lack of sleep, difficult eating, reporting of fatigue right across the Caribbean, especially in Dominica and the Virgin Islands. So this is a good time for us to prepare our communities and build resilience to ensure that we have enough persons that can come to the aid of persons who may be impacted whenever the time comes.
The workshop was facilitated by the International Health Trauma Team of Loma Linda University. The NIA's Ministry of Health held the first of two town hall meetings on October 31st as part of the national consultation on exploring the impact of sugar-sweetened beverages.
As we consider the implementation of this tax and its potential to reduce non-communicable disease and their risk factors, including obesity, we also welcome the annual revenue, which can exceed over $3 million if implemented and if implemented properly.
On November 1st, the Minister of Public Works, the Honorable Spencer Brand, toured the expansion projects at the Charlestown Primary and Ivor Walters Primary Schools.
I am happy to see that we have made some progress with facilitating the management team here at the Charleston Primary School by renovating and upgrading the head teacher, deputy, secretarial section of the school.
Meantime, Minister Spencer Brand said he was also impressed with the quality of work on the $300,000 project at the Ivor Walters Primary School.
The number of students were bursting at the seams, really, with the size of the classrooms. And we took a decision to, in the shortest possible time, to try and alleviate that problem. And thus, we are here with this expansion of 3 classrooms with additional bathrooms.
On November 2nd, Antonia Liebert of the Gingerama Festival Committee announced that a new facility will be built by the Nevis Island Administration to house the Gingerama Festival, and that the idea to construct the permanent facility was that of Minister of Culture, the Honorable Eric Evelyn.
On becoming Minister of Culture, he would have taken that initiative to the administration, and they have gone ahead with his suggestion, and so we will have the construction of this new brand new facility in Gingerland.
The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Nevis Teachers Union, hosted a cocktail and a dance on November 3rd as a show of appreciation to the island's hard-working teaching fraternity.
So this is just a way that the ministry is partnering with the Nevis Teachers Union and with the teaching fraternity as a whole to show some appreciation.
A ceremony was held on Thursday, November 8th for the induction of 40 ambassadors into the St. Kitts and Nevis Comprehensive Disaster Management Youth Ambassadors Initiative.
Once young people get involved in activities such as these, it means that our future is definitely secured, in the sense that the energies that are needed and the long-term projections in terms of who would be involved will be in place with this particular organization.
The Ministry of Communications and Works facilitated a town hall meeting on November 13th to discuss the Craddock's Village Road reconstruction project.
So it's not only a matter of trying to improve the road network, but it's also a health and safety issue.
The Craddock Road reconstruction project is expected to be completed in approximately 12 months. The Nevis Island Assembly passed the Nevis Investment Promotion Agency Amendment Bill 2018 during a sitting of the Assembly on November 15, 2018. According to Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Mark Brantley, the legislation intends to give the Nevis Investment Promotion Agency NEPA the necessary tools, including staffing and budget, to attract investors and investment to the island. The bill also seeks to change the management structure of NEPA and allow the agency the necessary budget to function. On November 16th, 24 plumbers were awarded certificates of completion after receiving training in the installation and maintenance of water-efficient toilets and urinals. As stated by Minister of Water Services, the Honorable Spencer Brand, the workshop has better equipped the participants with the necessary skills to advance their trade. The 4-day workshop was funded by the Caribbean Development Bank through the Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET project. At his November 20th press conference, Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, described an increase in employment figures on Nevis for the first half of 2018 as encouraging.
The number of employee registrants on Nevis increased from 124 registrants in 2017 to 217 registrants in 2018. This represents a growth in employee registration of 93 or 75%.
On November 27th, the Ministry of Health partnered with Fit Wellness Center to launch the NGO's NCD Prevention Action Plan and Weight Loss Campaign set to commence in January 2019.
At the Ministry of Health, we recognize that our task in keeping the population healthy is a huge one. And so we recognize that we cannot achieve our objectives alone. We must partner with individuals and others to be successful.
At the Gingerland Secondary School's graduation and prize-giving ceremony on November 29th, area representative for St. George's, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, made a presentation to the school.
It is the first graduation I'm attending as the area representative for the school. And it is a very historic moment for the school as well with the achievement. And they have gained a hat trick. And I want them to continue. And so I'm going to make a presentation to the school. It's maybe just a drop in the bucket, but I'm going to make a presentation for $1,500.
The Ministry of Education, Library Services and Information Technology hosted a training workshop for its administrative staff on November 30th at the St. Paul's Anglican Church Hall. The workshop, which was intended to give the participants the skills to deliver a much higher quality of service, focused on verbal and non-verbal communication, telephone customer service, and making the participants more confident and comfortable to deliver the service to the public. Resident Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Tom Chi Chiang Lee, on December 4th made a presentation of $167,000 to the Ministry of Health to procure hemodialysis machines, included related water systems, to be used in the treatment of chronic kidney disease on Nevis. Premier the Honorable Mark Brantley, who accepted the donation on behalf of the Ministry of Health, noted that non-communicable diseases continue to be a major threat to Nevis's healthcare system in terms of morbidity and cost. On December 5th, the Nevis Island Administration signed an agreement with Northern Point Development Limited for the construction of a Windham Grand Hotel at Potworks in Nevis.
It's a good, if you will, advanced Christmas present that the people of Nevis can see some forward movement in relation to this very significant project.
From December 6th to 7th, the Nevis Investment Promotion Agency (NEPA) and the Nevis Financial Services Regulatory Commission, in collaboration with Beyond the Capital Markets, hosted a two-day Nevis Financial Transformational Technology Summit under the theme Harnessing the Potential, Embracing the Future of Digital Finance.
I am in full support of my team's suggestion that we establish as soon as possible a regulatory sandbox that will offer investors and service providers the opportunity to work alongside our regulators in order to create a hospitable environment for the growth and development of a fintech industry here in Nevis.
Premier and the Minister of Finance, the Honorable Mark Brantley, on December 5th presented a tax-free budget for the Nevis Island Administration for the fiscal year 2019. The total expenditure budget is $269.95 million. According to Premier Brantley, the budget is free of any new taxes as an incentive to stimulate business activity among the private sector as a means for economic expansion. In his presentation, Premier Brantley articulated policies for economic expansion and fiscal consolidation, employment creation, crime prevention, debt consolidation, infrastructural development, and programs to empower youth. The NIA's budget presentation and the debate made 6 times that the Nevis Island Assembly has met since the opening of the Assembly on January 30th, keeping the promise by the new administration to have a sitting of the Assembly at least every 2 months. That's our look back at the Nevis Island Administration's first day in office. Thank you for viewing.
At a loss as to what's going on in Nevis? Tune into NNC on NTV. Don't worry if you don't have cable either. NNC will bring the news to you wherever you are. Facebook and Facebook Live. YouTube and YouTube Live. NevisTVOnline.com. Roku app, NTV mobile app, Smart TV, Apple TV, and any other IPTV platforms. When me ANC and you ANC, NNC.